the mirror that finds you. Some of the deepest pain in life doesn't come from mistakes you made, but from people you met. You've heard of emotional battles. You've read about psychological red flags. But have you ever felt spiritually drained by someone who never shouted, never raged, never broke character? Today we're talking about a bond that was never random, a bond that felt scripted by the universe itself. Because when an empath meets a narcissist, you don't just fall into a relationship. You step into a pattern, a loop disguised as intensity, a collision mistaken for connection. You didn't notice it at first. You felt selected, studied, placed at the center of someone's emotional orbit. They call it love. The world calls it charm. But your nervous system felt something else. The slow leak of peace. If you're living with a narcissist and never recognized it, it's because narcissism doesn't wear one face. It wears 5. And the quietest masks leave the deepest imprints. So stay with me. Not for entertainment, but for recognition. Recognition is the first crack in the illusion. Recognition is the first breath you take outside their narrative. Let's begin. The grandiose mask. This is the mask that looks like confidence wearing armor. The grandiose narcissist is not insecure in posture. They're insecure in essence. They brag because they need to believe in their own projection. They dominate conversations, not to connect, but to occupy. Love bombing at first feels like devotion. You're admired, exalted, praised publicly, and pulled into a world where intensity substitutes emotional maturity. They don't ask for applause, they assume it. They want hierarchy, not harmony. Success, not sensitivity. A witness, not a partner. This type isn't hiding their ego. They're hiding their emptiness. Their fear is not being seen. Their fear is being seen accurately. Because once you see them without the filter of awe, they no longer stand tall. They stand exposed. Grandiosity is not self-love. It's self-need. And self-need always looks outward for fuel. Sometimes that fuel is admiration. Sometimes it's sympathy. Sometimes it's obedience. Let's go deeper. The vulnerable mask. This mask doesn't shine. It bleeds. The vulnerable narcissist looks gentle, misunderstood, wounded, emotionally sensitive. And empathetic people often confuse emotional wounds with emotional depth. But their wounds are their currency. They don't share pain to heal it. They share pain to bind you. You find yourself carrying emotional responsibility for someone who never held space for yours. Their voice is softer than grandiosity, but louder in impact. Every conversation becomes about their suffering, their past, their disappointment with others. The villains known and invented, the injustice that only they seem to endure. It feels like tenderness, but it's extraction, disguised as exposure. They don't want emotional intimacy. They want emotional caretaking without expiration. They bind you in empathy, and empathy is heavier than ego debt. Because you don't resent their manipulation, you excuse it. That is how pity becomes power. The malignant mask. This mask doesn't drain you with need, it drains you with intention. Malignant narcissists enjoy control more than connection. Their manipulation carries no emotional invitation. It carries a mission. To destabilize, not through drama, but through pressure. Not through rage, but through silence that threatens. Withdrawal that punishes. Praise that confuses. Rules that change without announcement. Warmth that returns only to keep you addicted to its absence. You don't fight their behavior. You fight your disorientation. This mask doesn't compete with your heart. It hijacks your mind. And this is where manipulation becomes spiritual erosion. Your intuition quiets. Your self-trust fractures. Your identity shrinks, not outwardly. Inwardly, you begin negotiating your spirit, not the relationship. They don't raise their voice. They raise your cortisol. Malignant narcissism isn't love bombing. It's reality bend. The communal mask. This mask wears moral superiority like a halo. The communal narcissist doesn't want to be adored. They want to be regarded as good. They're the helper everyone praises, the mentor everyone quotes, the generous voice that seems spiritually elevated in public circles. But generosity becomes manipulation. When it's distributed, to be witnessed instead of felt, and weaponized to establish difference instead of inspire growth. Their script is, I gave everything. You don't appreciate enough. You owe me emotionally. My intentions are sacred. Yours are small. I serve the world. You serve me. This mask doesn't isolate you in pity. It isolates you in judgment. A saint mask on a strategist's face. Love that announces receipts is not love. It's administration of debt. The covert mask. This mask hides. Better than all, the covert narcissist weaponizes calmness. No crown, no tearful monologues, no open cruelty, no public sermons. Just a polite, quiet infiltration. They shrink you without shouting, detach you into compliance, silence you through psychological implication, make you doubt your own emotional compass, criticize softly, and cut deeply. Withdraw affection to make you reapply for it, condition kindness so it returns as reward, and not choice. Offer love in portions you misinterpret as phases and not calculations. You don't fear this narcissist. You lose yourself in them. Covert narcissists don't leave chaos around you. They leave noise inside you. And the internal noise feels like your own. That is the genius of the disguise. Why they chose you first. Here's the part no one said out loud. They didn't choose you because you were weak. They chose you because you were luminous. Narcissists detect unguarded light, not unguarded fragility. They detected your emotional bandwidth, your loyalty, your patience, your sensitivity, your spiritual resilience, your empathy as instinct, not performance, your conscience as compass, your willingness to hold space when no one held yours. This bond wasn't logic, so leaving it won't feel logical either. It must feel spiritual first. Freedom requires inner awakening, not outer permission. Sometimes they show up to teach, not what love is, but what love isn't. The break, the purpose, the return. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The narcissist was not the destination of this bond. The breaking of the pattern was. You were not placed here to applaud their ego. You were placed here to outgrow the illusion. The pain felt loud because it was the alarm system of your spirit, not the personality of the relationship. The breaking was not punishment. It was revelation. Revelation is where peace begins returning. Now, the question becomes softer. Even if the subject is heavy, can someone who loves you only while you diminish yourself call it love honestly? Or was it design, not devotion? If this message resonated with you, here is what you do next. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with someone who may still be negotiating their peace silently. Because awakening is contagious when it's shared. Stay stoic. Stay awake. Stay free. Watch yourself with compassion, not negotiation. You are here now, outside the silence. Don't go back to being unread. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Your peace is worth protecting.